Hi everybody, how are you doing? It's Jaiya Victoria. So I had a lot of positive feedback on the energy report. What am I calling it? The energy update this week. And I was also told by somebody, thank you, I think it's Kel, am I saying it right? She told me that she couldn't hear me very well. And so I wanted to do another sort of condensed version of what I talked about because I know that there was a lot of really awesome information in there for you about achieving paradise on earth, basically. It's kind of a big deal. So I wanted to make sure that you could hear me. So I'm recording this during the day because the reason why I was so quiet is because a lot of the times I do videos at night and I don't want to be too loud because my roommate is in medical school and she's usually asleep. So I don't want to be like talking at this volume. And that's why. But right now I'm going to actually do a more condensed version of that. And this will give you a lot of the same info, just much louder, and so you can hear it. And I'm also gonna add in different things, honestly. And the point is, I just want you to get the info and be able to hear it. So let's begin. This video, I'm going to talk more about this whole thing in the context of how to achieve paradise frequency inside of yourself, basically, because whatever frequencies you have inside of yourself are going to show up in your reality, and that's how your reality is created. So this is the 5 steps to achieving paradise frequency within, so that you start to live your own version of heaven on earth. And heaven on earth for every individual is going to look very different. Have you ever noticed that there are people who are so happy living on a farm? There are people who also would hate living on a farm. And for me, New York City is like, this is it for me. I love it. And other people are like, I could never live there. So all the details of what heaven on earth looks like for you are going to be very individual for you. And they're basically going to be, you guys, whatever makes you feel the highest frequency inside. And this is a really easy hack that I made up and I love for finding your purpose, because it took me like so long to find your purpose. And Oprah used to talk about like, you got to find your purpose. I was like, Oprah, I'm trying. And it's just like, there can be so much pressure around us, and not from Oprah, I mean, from society to be a certain thing. And so it's like, how do you hear that voice of who you really are, why you're really here? And of course, this is so important, to what we're talking about. Creating heaven on earth is basically living your purpose. But how do you know what that is? So basically, you guys, the hack is what makes you as an individual feel the highest frequency inside. What does that for you? And what you're going to notice is that it might be something a little bit funny. It might be something a little bit unexpected. It might be something a little bit like, what? Like, really? And it might be something really specific too. Like, I moved to New York to do comedy because there's a TV show here that makes me feel like that. And I know I have to work for that TV show. I know I have to be on that TV show. And it took me like decades to figure out like, oh, like there's nothing that makes me feel like that specific TV show. And it's never going to go away. It's never going to change. It's not even, comedy in general. It's that. So I knew, okay, well, I guess I have to do that because it'll literally never go away. And it's just that specific thing that makes me feel like that. There's something really special about that. And so what I'm giving you permission to do, not that you need it, but I'm encouraging you to do, is find like that specific thing, and you will weirdly know it, and it will always sort of have been there. It will keep revealing itself to you, especially as you start to have the intention that you want to find this. Literally, it might be gardening. It might be, which Helga, you mentioned that you do. It might be, again, for me, like living in New York, there was nothing better than that. And so I was like, I guess I have to move to New York, and And it might be eating a certain way. It might be having a certain lifestyle. It might be being married or not. It might be having pets or not. It might be having, all these details. It's like, what makes you feel that high frequency? And it's not that you can't have a job. It's not that you can't, do other things, but I think you should always be pointing your life in that direction, going toward it actively, because it's like your soul really knows what you're here to do. And it's like you want to tune yourself more and more to that as much as possible. And so I'll give an example with myself. I'm going to get to the 5 steps, but I think this is a good intro too, because this is really related to this. The way you live your life will matter. It matters. It affects your choices, affect your frequency. And this high frequency thing that makes you feel high frequency on the outside, it's like you can tune yourself to it by being around it. So I actually go to the building where I want to work. If there's a show that week, then I go to that building and I write for the show in the building somewhere. And that's how much I'm tuning my frequency to the show, because you'll see me on the show soon. Because really, if you want to live a certain place, you should go there. If you want to, I call it throwing yourself at your goal. Throw yourself at it. How far can you get there today? Who can you email? Who can you ask questions to? Who can you get to know? Literally go there physically as much as possible. I had a client who she was inspired by my story of moving from Canada to New York, and she lived in a certain place in California, and she really wanted to move to Santa Barbara. And she was like, if you did it, I think I can do it. And I was like, you totally can do it. And it's not that that day she moved, but we did a lot of work together with her energy, clearing her frequency. I coached her on all these things individually, and a year later she moved to Santa Barbara. She's been there ever since. She loves it. So it's like sometimes when we have these things that make us feel like paradise on earth, we sometimes put them above us and we think, well, I'm not there. What you have to start doing is realizing we're all in this world. Everything is in this world together, and you just have to throw yourself at it. And before she moved to Santa Barbara, she would go visit there. She had to do a lot of research, find out where was she going to live. She had to, she was a hairstylist. Where am I going to work? How am I going to get rid of my old clients and get new clients? But it's like she would go there, and she started to start the process. And it was the same with me. I feel like I'm talking so fast. Am I too loud? No, I'm kidding. Am I too loud today? Is my vibe too loud? I'm just really passionate about this too. Because it's real. So I really want you to get it. Because I honestly, you guys, I lived in the before version of this for so many years, decades. And that's why I'm so excited about it, because I lived in the telling myself basically, and I remember I did a lot of counseling, thousands of hours of counseling. And I remember one time in counseling, I was staring at the counselor I just want to be on TV, but everybody wants that. And she was like, no, I don't want to be on TV. What are you talking about? I was like, what? She was like, yeah, I don't want to be on TV. I want to be a counselor. I wouldn't even want to do that. And I was like, what? I was like, I thought everybody wanted to be in TV and movies. Everybody wants that. That's not a real goal. It's just everybody wants that. Everybody watches movies and wants to be in the movie. And she was like, no. And I was like, what? And that changed my whole world, because before that I was like, everybody wants the thing that I want, and it's a crazy dream, and it's too big, and it's I can't waste my life doing that. I need to find a serious thing. And she opened my eyes to that whole thing. I was like, I can't believe that not everybody wants what I want. And that wouldn't make you feel good, but it would make me feel good, right? So that's the way you have to think about these things. You may be even telling yourself, oh, everybody wants to do that. Everybody wants to fill in the blank. No, not everybody wants to do that. You want to do it because that's your purpose, because that is what lights you up. That is what makes your frequency high. And who is your actual identity? Who are you as a spirit? High frequency. So that's your clue. That's your detector. It's the alarm or the sensor goes off if something makes you feel high frequency, that means that's who you are, which is your purpose, right? So pay attention to those things, small and big. Maybe you're going to get a clearer sense of your identity. Maybe you like, for me, I love rap. I love rap. I love rapping. And so I don't tell myself like, you can't do that. Now that I know how this works, I'm like finding out more about myself and my gifts. It's like, oh, that's cool. I don't have to be who people think I'm supposed to be. Same with you. You don't have to be whoever people think you're supposed to be. You know, did I go to journalism school? Did I get an English degree? Did I get, educated and do other things? Do I even have like a day job right now? Yes. But while you're living your life, it's important to steer yourself in the direction of where you want to go. So while I'm doing all these things, I'm going to the building, I'm writing, I'm preparing myself, I'm tuning my frequency to it all the time, because that's why I'm here. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's one of the beautiful things I'm going to be talking about here, is that you don't have to choose between, well, I guess let's go to step one. So it's 5 steps to achieving paradise frequency within and paradise on earth without. Is the number one thing is your feminine and masculine balance. And so what is feminine is the spiritual. So that's everything I just described, like, what makes you feel high frequency and what really, lights you up and what feels like the energetic side of things. That's the feminine. Feminine is synonymous with the word presence. Feminine and presence are the same, because what feminine energy is your spiritual energy. And each individual on earth, whether you identify as woman, man, non-binary, however you identify, you have both feminine and masculine in its own unique balance within you. So what I'm talking about with all the energetic stuff is the feminine, right? Which we all have. Even the most manly of men out there, I'm talking to you, you have it too. It's your spiritual side, it's your energy. That's still part of your life. And the other energy is the masculine, and that is the physical part of your life. That is what I just mentioned. Yeah, sometimes you have to have a job. Sometimes you do get your education. Sometimes, you got to eat. You got to take care of stuff. You have to figure out the logistics. You have to research. You have to, email. You have to work. You have to try. You have to take action. That's all in the masculine realm, like dealing with the physical world. You need both, is what I'm saying. And that's the first thing that I'm going to talk about here is, if you want to have paradise frequency within, you have to understand that you need both your feminine and your masculine. So I'm not saying, oh, what makes you feel high frequency? You just move to China today because it makes you feel high frequency. Like, we all, like, you can hear that that would just be dealing with feminine energy. Oh, the energy's right. Okay. But like, to get to China, it's like, that's all the masculine. So what I'm saying is, it doesn't have to be one or the other. It's both working together. But I think the mistake that a lot of us make, that you want to avoid really, is living only in your masculine and ignoring your feminine, ignoring the fact that energy matters, ignoring the clarity of your energy, ignoring what makes you feel high frequency. And a lot of people live that way. So be careful of that. And catch yourself when you're living in that illusion that, well, I just need to take care of the masculine. Well, no, we need both. And so that brings me to, what is paradise frequency? Paradise frequency is basically the union of your feminine and your masculine. Your feminine and masculine working together, it creates what I call unity energy, and that is paradise energy. And so being the unified version of you is being the highest frequency that you can be. It's being your best. It's being balanced. It's literally having the frequency of who you really are. So it's not like I'm trying to be unified. I'm trying to be all these things. It's what it really is Yeah, that's who you really are. That's your actual frequency. And one of the fascinating things I learned is that when I clear negative energy out of people with my work, as the negative energy comes out, you naturally come back into balance. And so it's funny at the same time, even though we need to understand feminine and masculine and how they work together, I always recommend getting your energy cleared as well, because it's like you naturally come back into balance. It's kind of like how your body is created to heal itself. If there's no disease present, your body just can heal and restore itself. It's like the same with your energy. If there's no energetic disease or foreign invader present, you come back into that balance. And so your identity is that unified version of you, the paradise version of you. People always comment on like how bright my eyes are, and that's because I clear. Sometimes I'm seeing stuff going on. Sorry, I see energy, so I'm like trying to deal with it. Okay, but like the negative energy doesn't want me to tell you this stuff. Basically, is what just happened. So I had to like get something out that flew into me. Okay, anyway, get used to. This is the way I do videos. Okay, so. Yeah, so basically you want to like understand how feminine and masculine work together, have both aspects like equally present and like value them equally in your life, but also understand that like the clearer your energy gets, the more you come back into balance naturally, if that makes sense. And that this isn't something you're trying to achieve. This is something that you are. And when you live from that, so the more you make progress with having a more unified feminine and masculine, the more, like the higher your frequency will go inside of yourself and the better your life will get. So one really important thing I want to explain is that your frequency, why it matters so much, like the vibe that you vibrate at, is because life is like and I've experimented a lot with this concept, so trust me here, like your life is like a movie at the movie theater. What you're watching is like what you see on the screen, right? You see it play out, but the origin of what you're seeing is the film reel. It's not on the screen, it's the film reel. And so your energy is like the film reel. You will see in your life whatever's in your energy. You will see happen in your life whatever vibes, frequencies you carry inside of yourself. So if you carry a lot of positive frequencies, you're going to see a lot of things that feel positive to you, aka heaven on earth, paradise. So how do you live paradise? It's short answer, get negative energy out. You won't see negative things in your life anymore, and work at your feminine masculine balance, because that's also going to keep guiding you back to that unified place of high frequency, and that will, keep creating high frequency events and things in your life. I hope that all makes sense. And again, this is the condensed version of all of this. If you have any questions, just put them in the comments. And I'm planning on doing a lot more content about all of this, but this is sort of like a general summary, okay? Number 2, how to achieve paradise frequency, is challenge negative beliefs. And somebody commented something about this, and I know it's really hard for people to like accept this. Don't kill the messenger. It's just like, yeah, all I can say is experiment with it. If you don't believe me, experiment with it in your own life and find out for yourself. That's how I found out all of these theories that, I now believe, because I've experimented a ton with myself, my clients. Like, not that I experiment with clients, but anyway, you learn by trying and doing, basically. So okay, we'll start first with what is energy. Energy, what we call energy, a big secret is that it's not just like fairy dust, fluffy, whatever. It is the same thing as a belief. All energies are beliefs. That's what they are. I call them little beings. So if there's a negative energy, like I was just saying, I saw a negative energy like trying to get into me. They have a size, they have a shape, they have qualities, they have sometimes sounds. They, yeah, like what is that thing? What is that? That is, what is that? It's like something you found in the drain. Okay. It is a belief. That's what they are. Negative and positive energies are beliefs, specific beliefs. So you can imagine that this negative energy I just described is the belief. It is a specific belief. So, and since it's negative, it's going to be a negative belief. So you can imagine it's a little creature, and all it does is it vibrates this belief. It is that belief over and over and over and over and over. It's like, that's what it is. And so a negative belief, for as an example, is I'm not good enough. So that could be the belief, I'm not good enough. And it fully just, it's just, that's the whole thing that it is. You know what I mean? I'm going to put is in quotation marks because negative beliefs don't actually exist, but that's like for a deeper conversation. But just to be accurate. So that's what they are, is like the negative ones don't actually exist is what I'm saying. Okay. But they are that negative belief. That's what that is. And so, okay, we'll put that aside. That's what negative beliefs are. Positive beliefs, same thing. Imagine like a beautiful light, like a gorgeous, like glowing light, positive belief. And so again, it's going to be that belief just repeating over and over. How about I am good enough? I'm good enough. Or I am loved. I am loved. I'm loved. I'm loved. I'm loved. I'm loved. That's what it is. Like that's the substance of that energy. So that comes into, if this is in you, you'll believe I am loved. If this is in you, you'll believe I'm not good enough. How does that happen? Well, basically, your soul is the starship commander of what energies / beliefs can come into you or out of you. This is the free will, baby. You decide. You can decide whether you believe a negative belief or positive belief. And how does that happen? Automatically. You're born, you observe life, and from the moment you're born, maybe even before, I haven't looked at embryonic energetics, but as long as you're like your soul, like you're, incarnated, this is what's happening. You are making assumptions, believing beliefs, observing, drawing conclusions. And thoughts are different than beliefs. Thoughts are sort of like playing around with ideas. Beliefs are when your soul decides, oh, this is true. Oh, that's true. Okay, so you can look at your life and maybe one day your mom was mean to me, or mean to you as a child. And it's a Freudian slip. Okay, that is something that I've dealt with. I love my mom, but yeah. So I'll use my example. I'll use myself as an example. I don't mind. So when I was a little girl, my mom, 9 months before I was born, my mom lost her mother. 10 months to the day on September 29th, her mom died from leukemia. My mom was like in her late 20s, I think. July 29th, I was born. 10 months later. Okay, so she lost her mom from leukemia. I'm born. So she was going through a lot, right? Even while I was inside of her. And my mom loves me, trust me. I know that very much. But as a little girl, I couldn't understand grief. I didn't even know any words. I didn't know it. Like, I didn't know anything. So I could feel though my mom had a lot of anger, a lot of frustration. And I remember like being in the grocery store with her, and I was in the like cart sitting down. I was probably like 3 years old. And I just remember, it's a vivid memory of feeling like very alone because I was with this grown up, my mom, and I was scared and she was mad. And so the only conclusion I could draw was I did something because I'm the only one she's with. She's angry. She's not happy. She's really upset, actually. And I'm the only one with her. It must have been me. Right? And so I drew lots of conclusions because of that in my childhood, which were not just thoughts, which definitely became decisions and, you know, things that my soul was like, yeah, that's true, that, you know. And so a lot of things like, for example, I'm not good enough, definitely. And how that works is you observe your reality. So as a kid, I observed what was happening and I drew a conclusion like, I'm bad. You hear that that's a negative belief, right? I'm bad. So the negative belief, they're like bacteria. They can go in anybody, just like you can walk into a cloud of common cold bacteria and get a common cold. They're like they're not personal to you. That negative belief came from wherever it was, and I'm bad. That negative belief settled itself somewhere in my energy, and they will go in specific places. That's a deeper conversation too. But, you know, it went in my energy. And so what happened after that was I believed that, you know, I kept that. It's like, I'm bad was in me. And I kept believing it because it was in me. Still seems true based on my reality. Was it actually true? No. Right? But what happens then, since I explained to you how your energy creates your reality, that's a negative frequency right inside of me. So what happened then is that would show up on my movie, my life. I'm bad would show up in my life, right? So things would happen like, I remember weird things in my childhood happening, like I'd be hanging out with two friends and one friend would have a chocolate bar and she would share with the other friend and not me, right in front of me. And I was like, why aren't you sharing with me? And so that I'm bad was triggered. That's what a trigger is. Something that's in you that gets triggered by something in your life. Was I actually bad still? No. But like things like that would show up because I had that frequency in me. And where did it originate? You know, this is why a lot of the things that happen when you're an adult actually come from your childhood, because those are the beliefs that you believe the most, because as a child you're so open and you really don't know if you're bad or not. You really truly don't know. Another one for me, and I'm saying specific things for me because I feel like they're relatable and you can, you know, think about your own life at the same time. Like, I never knew I was pretty, and I still feel kind of weird saying that, and people are always like, what's wrong with you? Like, but I even had an ex-boyfriend who was like, look in the mirror. And I was like, I do, but I never had anybody really tell me I was pretty. So I was like, I remember looking in the mirror as a child and at my face, and I was just like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't have that like outside voice. And I grew up with 4 brothers, so you can understand why I didn't know. No one was like telling me I was pretty. But I like throughout my life, people would tell me I'm pretty, and I was always like, what? Like, really? Like, I didn't know. You know what I mean? So these things that we, you know, what happens in our childhood, especially the first 7 years of your life, I got that number from reading a lot of that stuff about emotional development, but I can apply that, or we can apply that to energy too. Like, I think you're most vulnerable during those years. So what you're dealing with now basically is a lot of these beliefs that you believed as a child, but were they true? No. Do you still believe them? Probably, kinda, or maybe a lot. And those are what we call the blocks. Those are the negative energies / beliefs that just kind of stick there, and they kind of keep messing up your life. And that's what we call a negative pattern that won't stop. It's like, oh, I can't get rid of it. And you've tried to change it in your life, but that's the genius of working with energy, is that you finally have access to the root of the problem. And so getting, for example, that negative belief I'm bad out of me, dissolving it. Oh, you know, like there's instant relief from that. And that's what my work with Energy Queen Alchemy is. I literally can take out the belief, the energy, dissolve it by combining a positive frequency with it. My favorite positive energy tools are connected to the divine mercy of Jesus. So the blood and the water that gush forth from his heart on the cross, those are my top two tools. And so I'll literally physically combine that. That's the alchemy part, and it will dissolve. And so the crazy part, you guys, is that these things that have been within you for like decades, your entire life, even past lives, affecting your life, causing negative things, making you feel low frequency, messing up that innate natural vibe that you are, messing up the way you look even, keeping you from living your heaven on earth, are dissolvable in an instant. Yeah, no. Upsetting for some people to hear, but hopeful, I hope, also for a lot of you. Is it that simple? With some beliefs, yeah, that's it. And literally the dissolving takes that long. It's like I dunk it in the blood and it's gone. Positive and negative energies can't exist in the same space. So that's why I dunk it in the blood. Well, now it's like dissolving. It's like a chemical reaction. It's gone. It's that fast. And so I'm like an alchemist in the energy world, basically. Like an actual alchemist. Like, I know you can't see my tools, but it's real. And the energy world is I call it, we call it the supernatural. It's supernatural, like it's more real than the physical world. The physical world is the manifestations of what happens in the energy world. So imagine if this world is so real, pumpkin surprise. real. You agree these are real, right? You hear them, see them, right? Pose, like they're real. If this is real, imagine how real the world is that created this, that created you, that created your body, that created everything you see. Look around you. So it's a very real place. Again, like, I don't know if I mentioned this, but like, there's a lot to talk about here. So I'm going to try to I may have to do a part 2. I'm going to be honest. I think that because this has already gone on a long time. But as you can see, there's a lot of background here, like a lot of background foundational knowledge that is really important. And when you understand a lot of the concepts I'm talking about, we can get into deeper concepts with each other. I can show up and do deeper, videos on deeper things. So this is a good foundational video if you found this. And do I have time to do one more? I think I have to go, but I'm gonna do a part 2, and I hope that this helped you get a sense of what I talked about. If I wasn't loud enough in the other video, hopefully you can hear all of this. Here's some screaming in New York. It's good screaming. Sounds like a concert in Central Park or something. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you have questions, you can put them in the comments. If you liked this, please put it in the comments, because I'm new to YouTube still, and I love all the comments. It means so much to me. They've been so positive lately, and even if it helped you, it just really helps me to know that. You can give it a like, you can subscribe, you can send it to somebody, you can just put an emoji or say something in the comments. It really makes a difference, and I'll keep showing up and sharing what I know. So I hope that this blessed you and helped you. I'm gonna go see, it sounds like DJ Khaled. I'm gonna go see who it is. I'll let you know later. But thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.